shoot. Okay. Oh, shoot. I think I might have missed the comment there. I'm just now putting the helmet on. But if I did, please retype the comment. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man, Lincoln Clay, coming back at you with a live stream of GT Sport. Just cruising around for a couple of laps. Talk a little bit about a decision that I had to make. A little bit of a painful decision, slightly. See here, we're gonna do Dragon Tail Seaside. We're gonna try some different cars since I'm just putting around today. What should I try? Well, hell. I mean, before I went over to a set of Corsa Competizione, this Beetle right here, I felt was the most well-rounded car in the Group 3 GT3 class. Excellent handling car, good acceleration. I really don't want to mess around with any production cars, but yeah, let's start from the bottom. You know, let's go ahead and try one of these MR2s. The thing about the MR2, the MR2 came along at a time where what's up, buddy? You can turn on the TV if you want to see what I'm doing instead of sitting here pitch black. So, looks like I'm going to have to recenter this. So, as I was trying to say, let's get this started. Alright, let's pull over for a second. And that's really the only time you feel... I'm on my Thrustmaster T150 to start. And you guys have heard me talk about that before, that the only time I feel any kind of force feedback is when I go off the road. Doesn't give you any information whatsoever when you're on the road. Unless you totally spin out, then by then you already know that you're getting force feedback because you can see that you're spinning out. In any case, this car right here, the Toyota MR2, came along at a time where if companies made a cheap knockoff of an exotic car, it sold. And this car kind of resembled like a cheap Ferrari. And this been done before. For those that are my age, I'm 54 years old, and those who are my age and you like cars, you definitely remember the Pontiac Fiero. I think that car came out in 1982, I want to say. And the car, I think, sold tremendously. At least that's the impression that I get. Because it looked like a Ferrari knockoff. And then a few years later, they introduced the Fiero GT, where they added a spoiler and added the ground skirts, the ground effects kits, as they were called back then. And that really made it look like a Ferrari. And then I think they did one more generation before they stopped making the car. And again, they stayed with the same program of making something that looked like a Ferrari knockoff. Boy, it is warm in here. I am going to turn on the fan. If it makes any kind of noise, let me know and I'll shut it back off. But I'm going to turn the fan on and aim it upward so hopefully it won't disrupt the microphone. Because I got to circulate some air in here. So the Pontiac Fiero and this car right here, the MR2, were two cars that, you know, growing up as a teenager, I was like, man, I'd love to have one of those cars. Got decent acceleration for an old production car. Oh, I noticed something about this Thrustmaster. When I'm using my McLaren GT3 wheel and you make a turn, like as I'm about to show you right here, you make a turn, and when you let go of the wheel, it will return to 0 degrees. This wheel doesn't return to 0 degrees. I'm going to show you what happens when I let go of the wheel. Well, it's straight now, but earlier it was weaving all over the place. There we go. So the wheel's weaving all over the place. I'm only going to do a couple of laps in this because I really can't do the production car thing anymore. Good God, that was close. Okay, so before I get to the title, let me put it in neutral. There is no neutral. What the hell? Well, I know the car's gonna try to creep ahead, so I'll aim it right towards this wall so it don't move. Besides, that was one of the things that turned me off about this game when I first bought it, was that you could smack a wall at 200 miles an hour and have no damage to the car, no damage to the suspension unless there was something I missed. But so I'm using my Thrustmaster T150, and I am on GT Sport. I decided to take a break from Assetto Corsa Competizione today because I don't want to get burnt out off that game, and especially with me getting ready to spend a ton of money to get a sim rig. So I thought it was best to take a break, and I'm a little shocked that I'm doing this because I fell in love with Assetto Corsa Competizione so much to the point that I didn't think I would be coming, I would be coming back to GT Sport, but I still make occasional visits. One thing I'm not going to do is act like this game hasn't been a big part of my VR experience, because it has. Drive Club in VR gave me my first driving experience in VR, and while I was severely disappointed that this game didn't have VR multiplayer, I still loved it no less. Especially at the time that I thought other than no crash physics, I thought the car behavior was more realistic than Drive Club. So, but yeah, here I am on the Thrustmaster T150. Unfortunately, it doesn't make a difference, but my CSL Elite wheelbase is not compatible with the PlayStation. It is version 1.1 that is only compatible with the Xbox and PC. So that means I will have to keep my Thrustmaster when I want to do any kind of racing on the PlayStation. And I figured out how I'm going to address that. When my CSL DD arrives, unfortunately, that wheelbase will not work on the PlayStation. I think Fanatec and Sony are working towards producing a CSL DD that's PlayStation compatible. So at the moment, my current plan is to keep all three of my wheelbases, the CSL DD, the CSL Elite, and this Thrustmaster T150. I'm going to keep all three wheelbases, even though the CSL Elite might end up getting the most use, but I'm still going to keep it as backup until I know for certain. Until I know for certain I'm not going to have any issues with the CSL DD. Or even a better way to put it is, so my plan is when Fanatec and Sony produces a CSL DD that's PlayStation compatible, the CSL DD that I have coming at the end of the month, at the end of November, I will sell that one, and then I can use that PlayStation CSL on both PC and the PlayStation. And I think I'll just continue to hang on to the CSL Elite as backup, and then once I get a PlayStation compatible CSL DD, then I can finally sell the Thrustmaster. But until then, I have to keep it, even if it is the bottom of the barrel wheelbase, because it's been discontinued, but for a lot of years it was the bottom of the barrel when it came to wheelbases with force feedback. Just the way it is. So so that's that. So as those of you who have been following me for the past couple of weeks, you guys know that I dove into the Fanatec ecosystem and spent about $1,400. I don't know why I keep trying to say 400. I spent about $1,400 on some Fanatec hardware, couple sets of pedals, couple wheelbases, and a wheel. I'm still planning on ordering one more wheel. I just don't know if it's going to be either the Formula One wheel or if it's going to be the rally wheel, but I do plan on getting one more wheel. And I don't care who you are, at some point, if you're just that passionate about sim racing, you're going to want a sim rig. And they can cost as much as, they can go as low as $200 to up to, I don't know, close to $2,000. And in my case, I'm kind of caught right in the middle. There was a few sim rigs that I had my eye on, like the GT Omega Titan. At first, I was going to start out with the GT Omega Art. And then, so I did some research on it. Turns out it's got some flex. It's not ideal for the CSL DD. Then I did some more research and I saw the GT Omega Titan, which looked like a pretty solid rig, and I thought for certain it wouldn't have any flex, but sure enough, you know, I've seen some videos where there was flex. And the other thing about these entry-level rigs, that a lot of content creators that were showing these rigs on their YouTube channels, they weren't being truthful. They were using entry-level rigs, Thrustmaster T150s, you know, Logitech G29s, Thrustmaster T300s. These are rigs that don't produce the power of the CSL DD, and they're not going to make those rigs flex. So they almost had me going for a second. So I will tell you, if you get a wheelbase and then you start looking and you're looking around for a sim rig, look for videos where the content creators are using the same kind of wheelbase that you have, and pay attention to whether they mention what the settings were. I've seen some videos where people were using the GT Omega with the Podium DD1 wheelbase that produces 20 Newton meters of torque, and it was no flex. They had to be lying, because I saw another video where the wheelbase wasn't even turned on and the guy was able to produce some flex by grabbing the wheel and moving it up and down. So that was out. So I came to the conclusion that if I want a wheelbase that's not going to flex whatsoever, I'm going to have to shovel out some change and get one of these aluminum profile sim rigs. And you know, they're all pricey. You know, some of the brands that I saw was SimLab, Track Racer, GT Omega, and they all had, you know, several different models. You know, my friend Ham has the SimLab GT1 Evo, which is a pretty solid rig, but it doesn't come with a seat, so you have to get your own. At least I would, because they only service Europeans. So I would end up having to find a seat for it. Now, I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to find a seat, trying to make sure it fits and stuff like that. When it comes to these sim rigs, it's going to be an ecosystem for me. Every part of it is going to be that brand, so I know that it will come together with no issues. Same way I did with the Fanatec setup. Every piece of it is Fanatec. I don't want to mix and match parts and then have compatibility issues. So whatever I was going to buy, the entire setup was going to be that ecosystem. So as far as sim rigs goes, and you know, I was talking to Ham about that this morning, because I've probably been driving him crazy, sending him private message after private message about, well, I'm going to try this one, I'm going to try that one, you know, and then his answer was pretty much the same every time: get an aluminum rig, get an aluminum rig, you know, and he was persistent about that. And I was adamant that I was going to go ahead and sit with the GT Omega Titan, but then I saw that video where it has some flex, and I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and get the aluminum profile, because even if it's going to cost me more money, I want to do it right the first time. So, and it's also heavy, I need to get one that I need to create a situation where wherever I put it, it's not going to need to be moved, or if I need to move it, I only need to like grab the front of it and move it a couple of inches. And so you have the Track Racer. The ones that I've narrowed it down to was the Track Racer TR8, which has a tubular design. I really like the way that looked, but it's also the most expensive and the most heaviest. It retails for $939 with the seat included, and it weighs 110 pounds. Then you have the Track Racer TR80, which is an aluminum extrusion, and that retails for $879 with the seat included, because whatever I get, it's got to have the seat. I think that weighed in at over 100 pounds. I didn't really go too deep into his weight, because I'm probably going to skip over that one. And a lot of these sim rigs have a length of about 4 feet long, and they're probably almost 2 feet wide. They're roughly about 21 inches wide. So it won't take up a tremendous amount of space, even in my small apartment, but they are heavy. And again, I'm dealing with that situation where I got to get rid of that big ugly couch that some of you guys have seen in the background so many times during my streams. Yeah, that's just saw that ghost go by. And then you have the one that I'm probably going to go with is the GT Omega Prime. That is the cheapest, and it is $827. They were originally selling it for $900, but I'm guessing that the competition got so stiff that they had to undercut them. And so from what I'm seeing, the GT Omega Prime is the cheapest full rig that includes the seat, that is an aluminum profile rig, is the cheapest one that I've seen. Again, it's $827. It is also the lightest at 87 pounds. May not be the easiest to put together from what I've seen, but that's the one I'm going to go with. Not only that, there's also a couple of ways that I can save money on that. With the GT Omega, it's free shipping on all products, whereas Track Racer, shipping is still calculated when you check out. So you're talking about something that weighs close to 100 pounds, shipping probably isn't going to be cheap. And not only that, another thing that saves me money is the GT Omega ships through FedEx, UPS, and something called OnTrack. And in my case, if they go with FedEx, I can have the package rerouted free of charge. Whereas the United States Postal Service charged me $23 to have my Elite wheelbase rerouted. So all that is savings right there. So I mean, avoiding rerouting fees, shipping, that right there probably saves me $100 right off the bat. And then there's several YouTubers where if you use their affiliate links, you can get 5 or 10% off, I think, depending on who the YouTuber is. I think in the case of like YouTubers like Jardier and Carl Gosling, I think they give like a 10% discount when you use their affiliate link. I think Danny Lee, I think if you use his link, I think it might be a 5% discount. So I'm definitely going to use an affiliate discount. And if I get 10% off using an affiliate link, that knocks off like another $82, bringing the cost down of the rig down to about $750 with free shipping. It's still more than I want to pay. It's still $350 that I want to pay, but I can live with that. So let's leave this and go on to try another car. So yeah, that's more or less what this stream is about. Just wanted to talk about the decision that I made to go with the GT Omega Prime. Kind of like this track too. And we'll go with another production car. We'll go with this. I've used this car before on this game, but the reason why I'm going with this car is because I do believe that the actual race car for the 24 Hours of Le Mans, this 2017 Ford GT, the actual race car is going to be in GT Sport. Not GT Sport, GT7. Because they don't have it in this game, and that was a pure disappointment to me. To my knowledge, as of right now, the only sim racers I know that have the Ford GT Le Mans race car I know for a fact that Project Cars 2 has it. I know for a fact that iRacing has it. And I'm not sure, but R Factor 2 might have it. I'd have to look into that. But with it coming to GT7, that particular car, I'm also hoping that the new Toyota hypercar, the I think it's the TSO G10, I think that's what it's called, which just won the Le Mans just a couple of months ago. I'm hoping that that's going to be included in the game. Oh, I didn't even realize I was going against the AI. What a shame! What a shame that you can't do this in VR multiplayer. Oof. That's the one thing that do suck about the VR part of this game, going against the AI, is they turned it, like, they dumbed it all the way down to where it seems like a kindergartner is driving this car. I mean, as you can see, I can pass the AI anytime I feel like it. And he's unstable. Hey, I think I hear a helicopter above. That is, if they include it in the game. Yeah, yep, there's a helicopter. I can tell you, driving these production cars is not like driving GT3 cars. Lot of body roll right there, and you definitely have to put on the brakes well in advance. Another thing I don't care for about this game in VR is you can't display the map, the map of the track, you know, relative to your position on the track, so you can know what turns are coming up and stuff. I don't care for that either. So you have to memorize a track if you run it in VR. So that sucks. That's something that's definitely better be fixed on GT7. That's one of the reasons why I'm not passing the AI, is because I don't really remember this track that well, and because this VR is slightly blurry, sometimes you don't see turns coming up until the last second. That's why it is important when you play this game in VR that you remember the tracks. And that's another reason why they got these blue markers placed all over the place. Listen to that Target music, Walmart music. All right, I think I'll do putt around with one or two more cars and then hang it up. And why not? We'll go against a slow ass AI again. It's actually refreshing to see another car on the track, even if they're driving like kids. What shall we drive? I'm leaning towards wanting to drive that GT3 AMG. All right, should I go with the AMG, the BMW, the Ferrari? Let's go with the BMW. This actually is a slick looking BMW. It looks a little bit different than the BMW M6 on a set of Corsa. I like the yellow lenses, the light covers. It definitely, this car definitely has an intimidating look to it. I think they got me going up against a different BMW. Yep. I lost. That's a shame they only do 2 laps. You know what? That was actually, even though the AI was driving like a kid, that was actually kind of fun. I mean, you know what? I might have to. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. You know something? I might have to retract something that I said a while back. I talked about how that even when a GT7 comes out, I'm going to be spending a lot more time on a set of Corsa Competizione because that is my go-to sim, and that is true. I'm still going to be spending more time on a set of Corsa Competizione, but even though I think GT7 is going to be a simcade, I think it's still going to be a lot of fun racing in VR, VR multiplayer. And now the one thing I don't know is whether it'll have voice chat or not. And I think that's where the Discord partnership comes in that Sony, that Sony made with Discord. Because right now, that's the way it works on a set of Corsa Competizione. There is no voice chat for the game. If you want to talk to people, a lot of the lobbies that people have, they post their Discord in the description, and you just go into the Discord and chat with people. I haven't gone into anyone's Discord because I know I'll end up in an argument. Well, I don't argue with people, but I know there's going to be some pissed off people in there from some of the stuff goes on because they type some rather nasty things in the comment. When somebody causes them to get into a wreck. Let's go to this track that has historically given me trouble. I think I want to go with another GT3 car. Let's try it. Let's try the McLaren because I think I only tried that once or twice. And not only that, I want to see that beautiful McLaren GT3 wheel. But this car's a 2015, so I don't know if it's got anything that looks like the McLaren GT3 wheel that I have. Still a slick-looking car, though. Somewhat looks like it. Yeah, it looks a lot like it. And that's the BMW I just got done using. I do not know if it's me or let's try this again. Cause my God, that was blurry. So I think when it comes to the weather conditions, I think you have to go with the cloudy conditions because it'll be the most clear. Because that was blurry. Let's try this Peugeot. It's something I haven't tried too many times. And once again, they got me going up against the BMW. See, when I was playing GT Sport a lot, especially before I got into the VR part of it, this Peugeot was just something that it seemed like one of the slower GT3 cars, or Group 3 as they put it. This is a little bit better. I would have got a penalty. I would have got a penalty for that if this were ACC. Yeah, GT7 is going to be fun in VR multiplayer. Because again, as slow as the AI is driving, Hole and Dan Sock, try to branch out more and advertise your channel. You know, we'll talk about that in a second. All right. You know, what started me down this YouTube road is your content's good. Thanks. You know, I want this to continue to be a passion and not a job. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't put out you shadow ban or something. No. Actually, I was slowing down with the content. It was starting to feel like a job, because I had certain goals in the past. The thing that started me down the YouTube road was that I was part of some Facebook groups with some close friends and some relatives, and all I would do in this Facebook group was rant about how much I did not like Microsoft and its practices. And at one point, my own cousin was like, you know, we tired of hearing this shit, you know, the console war stuff. They was like, you fighting this war by yourself. It was like, take that stuff somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, I will. So I started watching YouTube videos, started watching console war videos. What's up, JD? No, I'm not banned. Excuse me. So I started watching YouTube videos of console war stuff, and then I became friends with some YouTubers, most notably King Thrash, because he was my favorite YouTuber and still is, even though with me being a VR content creator, he was my favorite YouTuber, and I became friends with him. And I told him I was thinking about starting a YouTube channel, and he said, do it, I'll be your biggest supporter. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I started a YouTube channel, and like, I think you could advertise more publicity, like getting on damn, console wars are crazy. Yeah, JD Max. So right after I put out my first video, King Thrash took a screenshot from that video, and he did his own video, and he said, check out my boy Lincoln Clay, he the new kid on the block, you know, blah blah blah. And actually, when I was doing this console war stuff, my channel was actually starting to grow at a decent pace. If I would have stayed with that console war stuff, I think I could have hit I think I easily could have hit 1,000 subs in about a year or less. But instead, you know, once I flipped over to the VR side, because it's much more enjoyable doing content about stuff you're passionate about, instead of like making negative videos about stuff you find irritating. And long story, you know, I won't get into the VR stuff, you know, my journey into VR and that kind of stuff. I'll just say that once I made that full jump into VR, it's just like, it was so passionate and so enjoyable doing a VR content, and I was just going with the flow, you know, because the whole thing is that I just want to enjoy it. So I wasn't concerned about, I wasn't really Clay spitting gold bars. Thanks. I wasn't really so concerned about wanting to get to 5,000, 10,000 subs. I wanted it to remain a passion, and I was like thoroughly enjoying it. But I think one thing that did start to happen to me is as I became friends with bigger YouTubers, Gotta go. Talk to you later. Thanks for stopping in, Dan Sock. Appreciate it. As I became friends with bigger YouTubers and saw how they do things, and the thing that really caught my eye is that with VR, you don't have to have near as many subs to get access to games early as you would as if you were a flat screen gamer. So even an indie game or something like, even an indie game flat screen, you probably need about 100,000 subs to get access to that game early to get a key from the dev. Whereas with VR, I feel like you only need like 1,000 subs to get access to games early. Because I wanted to try a lot of these games, some of my YouTube friends like, Steve Knows, Gamertag, Paradise Decay, these YouTubers were all getting access to games early, and I wanted to get in on that. And I felt like, so I started reaching out to devs, and a lot of them weren't responding to me. And I felt like in order for me to get to that level where they would respond to me, and I would need to get, and I would be able to get keys, was to get to 1,000 subs. Because I seen it happen with Virtual Strangers. They were at about 800 subs, and they still had access to a lot of games. And then even when they finally broke 1,000, they started getting more and more keys. So they only have about 1,500 subs. But they come through like the mailman. They deliver in any kind of weather. This show comes on regardless. They do a couple of different shows a week. And they are well respected throughout the VR community. The way they get keys from devs, I could care less about subs. I just want to have fun with fellow. Yeah, definitely, JD. And I had to come back to that. So to try to shorten this story, with Virtual Strangers, even though they only have about 1,500 subs, the way they have access to games, because they get keys from developers, they give away a lot of the keys, they get back to the community, they have access to games early. They showed me the way that you only need about 1,000 subs in VR to be able to reach out to developers and be able to get keys. Because it wasn't the case of me trying to get games for free, although it did help. It was also a case of me wanting to try these games early. 1 second, folks. Huh? Well, clean them up. You know how to do it. The cleaner is in the bathroom underneath the sink. Okay, folks. I'm right back. I'm back. So I did hit 1,000 subs, and I did get keys. And I was starting to get keys because I have a lot of VR games in my library. And not only that, Ham, we forged a friendship where even though neither one of us officially said it, we forged a friendship where we were working together for both of us to try to get to 1,000 subs. He would reach out to developers, he would get keys, and he would get extra keys and share them with me, and whenever I could, I did the same. And we both broke 1,000 subs. I actually started out with more subs than him, but he got to 1,000 subs before I did. They're friends. And we still talk every day. Ham's one of my closest friends. At some point, we still talk just about every day. And I think now both of us are doing things from a passion standpoint, because there were some games, I'm not going to lie, there were some games out there that I had moderate interest in, and that's probably not going to endear me to these devs. But there were some games out there that I had moderate interest in. So, I might have dragged my feet a little bit getting content out for it. But there was also games out there I was like, I gotta have this, I don't want to wait, and reached out to the developers. It's definitely been an enjoyable journey. Even though VR content started feeling like a job to me, I was still, enjoying it. So I've gone through some things this year. COVID, still my battle with diabetes. And the death of my mother a couple of weeks ago of definitely taking a toll on my weight, because I've lost a lot of weight. But I'm still here, still enjoying VR. And I have reached the point where I needed to fall back and start enjoying VR again. And, you know, and I think it's okay to mention his name, but I had a short conversation with Gamertag, and he was like, you know, he felt I had good content, but you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And I was like, okay, some of that I get. You know, one of the things he did was like, you got to stop the random streams. And I said, okay, I can go along with that. You know, so I started trying to be more conscious of trying to schedule streams. Now, I don't know how to, when it comes to streaming with PlayStation VR, I don't know how to use YouTube to schedule the streams. When I'm doing it from PC, I know how to do it. But off of the PlayStation VR, I don't know how to integrate that with YouTube, where I can schedule streams where it'll send out notifications a half an hour before I go live. So at this moment, PlayStation VR streams will still be random. You know, it'll still happen. But what I will try to do is that whenever I go live on PlayStation VR, I'll try to wait a few minutes to give people a chance to fall in so they don't miss anything before I really get going. But as far as the rest of the things that he suggested to me, he's absolutely right, you know, with some of the things that he suggested. But that goes in the direction of growing the channel, which isn't a bad thing, growing the channel, but I don't want it to get to a point where it's feeling like a job. I want to be able to enjoy this. So Jamal Adams was good. And another thing I like about my channel being smaller as it is, I can interact with all of you. I can respond to comments. You know, if somebody sends me a comment from a video that I did 6 months ago, I can answer them, you know, as long as I'm not at work. I can answer them, you know, at my earliest convenience. But I will answer them unless it's something trolling, but I will answer them. And then, you know, live chat is never out of control. I think the most I probably ever had, as far as people in the chat at once during a live stream, I think the most I've ever had maybe was 50 people. And I'll be the first one to tell you that when I go live, you know, I'll probably have anywhere from 5 to 15 viewers on average, which is poultry to VR numbers that's worried about the subs, worried about view count, worried about watch time and stuff like that. That's poultry to them. But with this still being a passion to me, if one person watches and just say, hey, how you doing? That's great with me. Let's let's try one more car. Oh, no. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more of these. We can go to Monza. Oh, maybe 3. Let's start with Monza. And it has to be a GT3 car. Let's try this Genesis. Suzuka? Alright, we can do Suzuka next. After, okay. Time to shave again. Old stubble starting to pop out and getting itchy. And they got me going against the BMW again. Wait a minute. What happened? Well, hell with it. We can go to Suzuka now. Where is it? There it is. The Lambo? Okay, then I gotta back out. Do they have a GT3 Lambo here, though? There's a Group 4 Lambo. No, 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 no. I want a Group 3 Lambo. Well, I think I know what's going to happen. I'm going to have to go to the dealership and buy one. And back on flat screen. And I do believe Lambo is a German car. No, take that back. I think Lambo's an Italian car. What are you apologizing for, JD? Something must have went over my head. How much does this car cost? $450,000? Okay, I got enough to buy it. Hold on, but let me double check though before I get that. Nah, I don't want any kind of concept looking car. Yeah, there we go. There we go. A set of course of competizione. And I'm gonna buy it using credits because I got enough. Still a good looking car. Still a good looking car. Assetto Corsa Competizione. That's the car I started out with when I first oh man, she's a beauty. Yeah. Okay, let's take her for a spin. Yeah, I know. I see you really taking a liking to that Lambo, JD. Oh, it's telling me I got to put on my VR headset. You got a new Lambo emote coming? Okay, cool. You'll have to let me know how I can earn one of those. Me and the Lambo are one. You do a pretty damn good job driving that car too. Let's see how it sounds. Because one thing about these cars on GT Sport, all of them got that weird whining noise. Last night I had to hold it all in. All right. I was punted on turn 1 at Daytona. Yeah, all right, let's go. You were in 6th place? Oh, damn, you were doing good then. Oh no, we can't let the AI get ahead of me like that. Does anybody think the tire screeching on this game is exaggerated? The GT Omega Prime sim looks decent. Yeah, I didn't want to spend the money, but there's no way around it. If I want to get a sim rig that's not gonna have any flex, I gotta get something aluminum with aluminum extrusion. The one thing I used to like about this game is the one thing I don't like anymore, is that it's forgiving. You can make huge mistakes on this game and still save the car. And that was the one thing I used to hate about Assetto Corsa Competizione, that if you made the slightest mistake, you would spin out. And now I actually like that. The AI actually bumped me. I admit though, this is gonna be so fun though when GT7 comes out, to be able to play that VR multiplayer. I will say, even in its default settings, this Lambo feels like it's got a good amount of body roll. I mean, for a GT3 car, I would have expected this coming from a production car. I will say that I said this earlier, that because I'm on my Thrustmaster, for those that's joining in late, I'm on my Thrustmaster T150 because the CSL Elite wheelbase that I have is not compatible with the PlayStation. So this is what I got to do whenever I'm on the PlayStation. One of the things that is distinctive, just a minute, let me back all the way out. One of the things that is distinctive between this Thrustmaster and that CSL wheelbase that I have is when you come out of a turn and you kind of let off the steering wheel, the CSL Elite snaps back to 0 degrees like almost instantly, whereas the Thrustmaster, it'll gradually creep back to 0 degrees, or when it tries to snap back to 0 degrees, it'll make the car weave down the street, you know, so the steering wheel is, you know, going from left to right. All right, let's now I'm going Bathurst, and then I think I'll close it out with Spa, because you guys see me do, you know, Circuit de la Sarthe 8 million times. What shall we go with this time? It's got to be a GT3 car. You know what? Let's go with that Jag. It's not a car I use too many times on here. And they got me going against the BM again. Let's go. Ah, the AI is trying to give you that smoke. Yeah, it is. I don't like that the steering wheel's right up under my nose, though. Oh, of course I got him, Christopher. Come on now. But thanks, bro. Oh, shit. I'll take him on the straightaway. All right, I'll take him now. That is not an easy turn to take on a set of course competition. Just got my PSVR this morning. Make this. Oh, that making you want to jump on? You know what, Christopher Hart? All this time that you've been, you know, supportive of PlayStation VR, I just assumed you had one. All right. You know what? I'll say this about this game. You guys have heard me complain 1,000 times about how limited the VR is. All you can do is VR trials or 1 versus 1 against the AI. If they would have made the AI more competitive, I could live with that. If they would have made the AI more competitive, most of my races would have been against the AI. But the AI drives like a kid. You guys seen how much of a head start I gave the AI a head start, and then I caught up to him and then played with him for half of the track before I finally went past him and left him behind for good. So I don't know why. I have no logical reason why Polyphony Digital did not give you the option to set the difficulty of the AI. If they're gonna only give you, if this thing is only powerful enough for you to do one-on-one against the AI, fine. But at least allow us to set the difficulty of how we want to go against the AI. I mean, do they not want people to try to race competitively in VR? Or is this a situation where they were playing it safe and don't want people to get intimidated by VR and say, I'm never doing this again? I truly think VR is the most advantageous way to race, because you can see everything. You can look yards down the track and see a turn coming and already play it out how you in your mind how you're going to approach that corner. Whereas when you race flat screen, especially if you do the over the hood look, or the cockpit view, or the flat out open screen, you only see what's in front of you, and sometimes you don't see a turn until you're almost on top of it. Whereas in VR, you got 360 degrees to look around. So, all right, I'm going to do one last one on Spa, and then we're going to hang it up. Although, damn, Monza's my favorite track, but I play that, it's my favorite track on the set of Corsa Competition, with Mount Panorama being a close second, but I do that track a million times on ACC, and I know, sure, y'all don't, but I do this quite a bit too. I do this track quite a bit too. You know what? And I drive GT3 cars. That's all I drive on ACC. So come on, let's do something a little bit different. This is actually one of my favorite cars on this game. I'm a hardhead dude. I damn near swear by my GT3s. Let's go. Look at all this. Now, this is something I've always been impressed with PlayStation VR. Look at inside this car. It's like all these tubes and wires and Damn, this thing got superior brakes, that's for certain. Pretty damn good handling, I'm not gonna lie. Even if this game is kind of a simcade, this shit handles better than the GT3. I love the way this car sounds too. Damn, so much for trying to set a record. Oh shit! Even with that spin out, I still did a 216. Unbelievable. I love the way that car sounds too. Daily workout complete. You received the gift card. Let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. They might be giving me some bull crap. They essentially giving me what I already have. I have that car in real life. That is basically the Lexus LS 430, which is I have that, as well as the Acura RL. I mean, this is in real life, not on video games, but this is basically the Toyota version of that car. And as far as those two cars go that I have, the Lexus is raw horsepower. The acceleration on that car is pretty damn great. Whereas the Acura, on the other hand, that car is all-wheel drive, and it's a little more sportier. So I would probably say the Acura's a little more fun to drive, but the Lexus just got that raw horsepower. So in any case, you said, coming back to your comment, Christopher, you said, I just got my PlayStation VR this morning. This is making me want to jump in again. Again, you know, I like all this time that you supported PlayStation VR. I thought you had it, to tell you the truth. But in any case, welcome aboard. If you have GT Sport, I want to recommend that you check it out in VR. I will. But if you don't have a racing wheel, I don't know how much you would enjoy it using a controller. Any racing game, in my opinion, regardless of whether it's a sim or a simcade, flat out arcade, I think it's definitely more enjoyable with a wheel. So in any case, you know, if you got a wheel, this is definitely, you got to check it out in VR, no question about that. And along with some other games in VR, you got to check out, I'd like to think that you got Star Wars Squadrons. Definitely check that out, because that, in my opinion, Star Wars Squadrons is a game that's definitely enjoyable, whether you play it with a controller or whether you play it with a flight stick. Dark Queen Gaming. Hey Lincoln, sorry not being around on your channel. I just trying to get my depression stored out, but I'm taking everything slowly. I totally get how you feel, Queen. You know, I just I lost my mother a couple of weeks ago, and you know, I only cried for a few days, but I cried for a lifetime. So I definitely get how you feel. So I need to get out and go grab some food before my son and I die of starvation. And it's probably going to be time for me to take him home before long. And when I come back, there's no question I'm going to jump on ACC. I just don't know whether I'm going to stream it or not. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate it. You know, we've moved on with the next chapter of our life. We got to start getting the house in order and, you know, figure out what to do with the house and all kinds of other things. So, in any case, I definitely want to thank everybody for joining. I really, really appreciate it. And this is one of the things that I enjoy about my channel remaining small, is that I'm always able to respond to comments. I'm always able to have a conversation with you guys. And I definitely treasure that. So we will see you on the next stream. Whatever that may be, whenever it may be. But I definitely appreciate your support throughout these years. And that's going to do it for me. You guys know the line. Wakanda forever. I'm crossing my arms even though you guys can't see it. Long live the king. And deuces. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon.